Hi everyone, this is The Game Plan. My name is Kara Radul and you have to excuse my voice, but I've had a full week in Dubai of shouting.
You are singing Eloya, sweet as sugar.
I'm singing na 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 na.
But now you've come back to reality
goodness.
and now you're singing about your banking problems. After that.
But I had a good time. The only downside was having to watch that game on Thursday evening.
Oh. What about Kenya's results in Dubai? You didn't find that a downtime?
We're coming to that.
Okay, anyway, me and Kenya had an amazing weekend. A great time. Where there were wins, losses, for others, not us. As we're always winning. And of course, strange results like Arsenal. But we had a great weekend, honestly. Whatever the results were, we enjoyed it. And the reason is simple. Because we had it with the Guinness Smooth. The rich, full-bodied taste that shines brightest. Let me tell you, there's nothing like a Guinness Smooth when you're sharing it with friends. Remember, win, loss, draw, everything is possible. But the one thing that's for sure is you're going to enjoy that Guinness Smooth with a couple of friends.
Right.
And possibly enemies.
Aradul.
Yes. But guys, as we enjoy our Guinness Smooth, let us remember, of course, excessive alcohol consumption is harmful to your health and not for sale to persons under the age of 18 years.
Before we get into the conversation for today, I just need to say, unfortunately, Gor Mahia and Tusker FC have exited from the CAF Confederations Cup. Gor Mahia drew 1-1 at home here to Otoyodoyo.
What is
that's
a proper Congolese Jaluo team.
Yeah, so that they exited 2-1 on aggregate. Tusker were beaten 1-0 by CS Faxien. And Tusker also out of the CAF Confederations Cup, but due to just one goal. Next year, we will prove that anything is indeed possible. Let me tell you where everything was possible. That was at the World Amputee Football Tournament.
How did that
the
go?
Africa tournament in Tanzania. We came out 6th.
Okay.
And the top 4 go to the World Cup.
Right.
Ghana were top, but Ghana are not members of the World Amputee Football Federation.
Okay.
So Liberia, Angola, Tanzania, and Morocco will go to the World Cup. Kenya was right behind Morocco.
Wow.
Which means if we could support our amputee team like every other sport in this country, who knows what would have happened.
Very far.
But let's get into the discussion today, which of course I'll start with the fact that we were in Dubai. But joining us now is the Kenya 15's head coach, Paul Odera. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm well, but can Roy explain why Kenny Gidinji is on calling me?
Let me tell you something. Paul, sometimes I have to give my juniors some work to do. So I had to ask my assistant to reach out.
You're getting juniors to call Paul Odera. Are you mad? You are my desperate. Roy, you are my desperate in school.
Roy.
Now you see, he's revealing my age, Carol. This is wrong.
But you were a deskmate in school.
Yeah, I was cleaning the desk as I
How
passed
come
by.
your beard is not yet white?
Yeah,
How you
that
dyed? Anyway, let's talk about rugby. I was at Dubai Sevens over the weekend, Polo, and I mean, I think our boys tried. The second leg was a little better than the first leg, getting a 29-0 win over USA after just losing to USA in the group stages. What are you seeing in this new young side that can actually?
I think the first thing is that there's progress. So they're getting better. And Kenyans normally are quite impatient with our national teams, but I don't think we realize the amount of work it takes to compete against other sides who put in a great deal of investment. So their training age as a group is improving. So you can see the progress from the first tournament to the second tournament. I'm always interested in how we are playing as opposed to just results, but of course at the elite level results do matter. So there was progress. What I was happy about is that we were then able to use our pace on the wing.
Play wider.
Playing wider. Our subtle skills, our passing skills are still, quite.
There's work to be done.
If I could call them that. But we're still able then to combine the power that we have with some of the pace outright. But the biggest improvement was at least on our defense, so we're able to tackle a bit better. So Namco's, and I think his coaching staff, did put in some work during the week, so there was progress. So we're playing better, and it's a younger team, and you are players in there, so it's good to see.
And despite the noise that we're making in the stands, it did not intimidate.
Can I just ask one question? Paul, why do we constantly have this habit of sort of realizing after 2 games, oh my goodness, we'll get knocked out. Then all of a sudden we play well. What happens? Is it that we don't know the rules of the game earlier? Or what's the situation?
Roy, but I think the question you're asking is more culturally how we are as people.
Yes.
Kenyans usually
Yes.
are very laid back. You know, relax. Even when you're organizing a massive event, they tell you,
we will be okay. We'll be okay.
So relax. It's true. So in a team sport, when we start playing, even in a tournament, or even when we talk about the 15s in a few minutes, we kind of feel our way into things. So
yes.
We try and feel our way into the tournament, and then suddenly we say, "Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness, it's ending."
We may not make the final, so we get knocked out. Then we play well. It's a Kenyan thing, and we culturally, yeah. On a serious note, it's how we are.
We're late. Busy. Hey, kwani ni kesho?
Yeah, kwani ni kesho?
You know, I'm blowing my own trumpet, but the way the team played when the fans were not there versus when the fans were there was totally different. Because day one, when they played the USA, they struggled. And of course, we lost it at the last minute, I think due to inexperience, because we could have held the ball for 2 more seconds and got that win. But the next day, in the morning, I think we were like 3 people when we played South Africa. The boys completely crumbled. But by afternoon, when Kenyans wake up...
So you're reliant on the fans?
You could see them responding to the noise. No, Roy, you could.
No, you could see.
In other words,
them.
If you're
but I guess
professional...
with time, and this is quite a young side, with time, they'll gain the experience and the confidence. I want us to move on to 15s, because you are the 15s head coach. We do have an opportunity to go to the World Cup. So, yeah, we want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, what's the plan?
What's the plan?
What's the strategy? How do we help? How do we plug in?
Hey, you guys are asking very many questions.
No,
how do you help? I think how we've got to look at it is, first thing is, the plan is to try and get set up close to what the 7s have, because the 7s in a way are semi-professional, professional side when they're in season. The challenge, of course, is with the 15 side game, it's a lot more expensive. It's
a larger squad.
So if we can start training regularly as a group from January all the way up to July, that will help. The other bit is to try and get high quality matches. Unfortunately, the international window is closed until July, and that's when we'll be playing qualifiers. So maybe to try and create matches against high-class opposition, and of course that points us down south to South Africa, if that's possible. One of the biggest challenges we have is nutrition, because a majority of the players do come from humble backgrounds, and feeding a rugby player, feeding a man, first of all, is a problem. Carol, I'm sure
then now feed a rugby player.
Feeding a rugby player.
Feeding a man. Yeah, Ken is already a problem there.
But you guys know, I think sometimes people take it as a joke, but it's not a joke.
Yes.
A professional elite athlete needs to eat 5 to 6 meals a day.
Yeah.
And you're talking that they're training 2, 3, 4 or 3 times a day. So nutrition is also a challenge. So the plan is to try and train for longer and to then get a nutrition plan going for the players. That's around training. Off the field, I think there's a whole host of factors. You've heard me allude to it in a joking way, but culturally, we've got to get a very strong mental skills program that needs to run for the team.
What's a psych in camp?
Go ahead.
What's a psych in camp? How are the boys looking at? Are they excited about the chance to go and play in a World Cup? You know, we keep talking about it. Yeah. But
I mean, if you look at the pool, if we qualify as Africa 1, that's the All Blacks, France, Italy. But let's deal with that when we get over that bridge. But when we came back from South Africa, the challenge here is you don't want to lose the momentum. The players are feeling good about themselves. They're gaining confidence. You notice we got better and better. Like game 3 when we played Brazil, we were now into our stride. And losing that momentum actually is the challenge for us now, and that's the biggest fear amongst the coaching staff, is that if we lose this momentum, that means when we do link up with the team after the Kenya Cup season ends in March, we'll be starting from square one. Starting from square one with April, May, and June to go, perhaps may not be ideal to see if we can close the gap on the top seeds, who are Namibia. But then again, by the time we play Uganda in July, we have to make sure that we have trained so much better than them and prepared so much better than Uganda. That when we get on the field, we'll be able to strangle them really, and to make sure that we get into the semi-finals. Uganda are a team who have, they pretty much have the same physical attributes that we have. They're very proud rugby nation. They're very proud people generally, Ugandans. So we're not getting on that field prepared. But they're very proud of their country.
They're very proud of who they are. You've really distanced that from Kenya.
So those things do count. So if we get on the field against Uganda and we are not 100% prepared, and we've not prepared better, and we've not set all our systems in place, and the players are fit. And remember, the key is always, do the players feel good about themselves? Are they confident about how the coach has prepared them? Look at
they walk onto the
any
pitch.
team. Look at the Premier League. People are asking, how suddenly do you have a coach who comes in and the same bunch of players who 2 weeks ago? But it's about if they're feeling good about themselves. And it's the same thing. You want this Simbas group, when they get to France for the qualifiers next year, they're feeling good about themselves. They're feeling good that the coach has prepared them well. When they get on the field, they're confident that they can get a positive result. That is really the key.
Okay, let me ask you, Paul.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you, just outside in terms of, I know our biggest gap is a financial gap. It's bigger than the gap in Carol's teeth. But there are other gaps that are there, right?
Just go there.
When it comes to physical things, it's a beautiful thing, Carol. There are other gaps that exist in terms of on the pitch. Where do you think we need to strengthen the most when it comes to the actual pitch? Ama, those are your secrets.
No, that's a good question you've asked, Roy. And one of the gaps, if you watch the game against Namibia, is just in terms of sheer physical conditioning to be able to take impact for 80 minutes. If you watch the game against Namibia, the Namibian seasoned professionals were still able to exert the same amount of force in the 75th minute that we're exerting in the 30th minute. Whereas some of our players, or a majority of our players, were flagging. If you watch the game when we played the Currie Cup selecting, the same amount of force that those players on the field were exerting in the 76th minute, the same amount of force they're exerting in the 20th minute. So conditioning-wise, Roy, you asked a good question. That is a massive gap that we must close between now and when we get on the field in July in 2022. The other gap is on our basic skills, and that one can only be filled by continuous practice on those same skills: passing, catching, running, tackling. Then the third gap, which Carol, I think, alluded to about tactical naivety in sevens, is also some of the tactical naivety that we exhibited. We were leading 36-30 against Brazil. We're 5 meters from their try line, yet we allowed them to get to within 10 meters of our try line. There was also a bit of tactical naivety in terms of the penalties we were conceding. So those are some of the gaps, Roy, on the field that we need to look to close. And they cannot be closed by Zoom calls or Zoom meetings or meeting online. It's got to be physically together, that we are training, that we are correcting mistakes, and then that we are playing against quality opposition. So,
just finally,
and
Paul,
that costs money.
Finally, Paul,
Yes,
in terms of team selection, I know you have your standard team, But given that the Kenya Cup season is on, you're likely to see fresh talent coming through. Are there players out there who don't even know that they may have a chance to play for the Kenya team?
I mean, it's open. All sports, once you go back to your club, you now have to continue performing at the expected level that we want to see as a Simba. So you go and watch a Kenya Cup match, for example, the pressure is even higher on Simba's players, because I should go for a game and look at 3 or 4 players. Okay, you should be able to go for a game and say, hey, who's that player I saw running on the wing? Is that a Simba? Then you should be told, yes, actually that's a Simba. But if you look at a game and you can't tell the difference between our players and the rest of
the Simbas and the Kawaida,
So to answer the Carol's question, sports are all open. They're up for grabs based on the Kenya Cup season. We're also trying to look at players who are based outside the country. We've got players in the US, we've got players in the UK, we've got players in South Africa. So that's what we've got to look at. But of course, there is a core group of players who we need to make sure we keep together. But that's always the challenge, because if someone assumes he's a core player, does that mean you become
you can relax and
So how do we keep them fresh and on their toes? Because without that core group who know and understand how we want to play, know and understand the coach and what he wants, then it always becomes a challenge. So it's a fine balance to get.
Okay.
But of course, we're going to take the best players on board.
Okay. We only have about 20 seconds left. So I said finally, but this is not finally, I'm Kenyan. You mentioned very briefly that you need the money. Can you see where you're going to get this money from?
How do we raise money
for players in camp? What can we do? What can be done to see these players in camp, to see them training?
I think yes, it's a good question, because money is there, there are stakeholders, the government, the private sector, well-wishers. But this is what I just want to say. Whoever it is who's willing to support the Simbas, please believe in the Simbas' vision of transforming Kenya through that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a passion for us as the Simbas. Because once you have a passion for us,
then
the rest will fall in place. You may not have the money, but you know someone who knows someone who is able to, sign on the dotted line for the check. If you don't have a passion for us as the Simbas, then it's going to be very difficult. Because Roy, you, Carol, you have to go and convince people, look, that team, those are our people.
Our people. Let's get them to the World. Let's get you to the World Cup instead of waiting for you to come back successfully and then saying Team Kenya.
Yes, if you're broke like Kenny, as long as you have that passion, you can get someone with cash, or you know someone, then you can help.
Paul,
Kenny,
thank you.
You can help.
Thank you. I certainly have the passion. My voice is there to prove it. But thank you so much for enlightening us, Polo, our Kenya Rugby 15's head coach. And I wish you all the best in all the preparation. And hopefully we will see Kenya in the Rugby World Cup sometime soon.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, guys. Thank you for.
It's been real.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, of course, we need to look at the drama that was Formula One. And then, of course, Roy, is there a new manager clicking? All that coming up in just a bit.
Come on.